Sunday Night Football. Los Angeles Chargers 34, Bengals 27. Wild back and forth game here. Chargers move to 7-3, and the Bengals fall to 4-7. It looked like it could be a shootout early, but Cincinnati settled for 2 field goals. It was 7-6. Then the Chargers just poured it on. They get up 27-6, and then the Bengals start sneaking back into it. A 4th down, 4-yard touchdown, 4th and goal from the 4. Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase to get within 2 scores. Then another 4th down, deep ball to T. Higgins for 42 yards to get within a score. Then Burrow hits Chase again for a 17-yarder on a scramble drill to tie the game at 27. Then neither team scored, and somehow they kept punting and missing field goals like 20 times within 2 minutes. And then it was JK Dobbins with the game-winning 29-yard touchdown run for the Chargers with just 27 seconds left in the game, or 26 seconds left.
Just a crazy game. I mean, I want to frame this essentially with, we had this discussion in the preview show about who's the better quarterback. Is it Joe Burrow? Is it Justin Herbert? And we both concluded that Burrow is a better quarterback, even if Herbert maybe has superior physical tools. And then at the start of this game, Herbert was just absolutely in the zone, just dialed in, zinging the ball all over the place, firing those kind of like seam passes that only he really can fire. Like, just when Herbert is in his bag, he makes throws that very, very few quarterbacks can make. And it just looked ridiculous. And suddenly the Chargers are like running away with this. You're like, wow, is that bad timing? You know? This is not a great week to have declared Burrow the better quarterback. Even if, one game doesn't determine these things, it does, however, make you look quite stupid when it's happening.
Well, but it's on prime time, and everybody's, this is the only thing we've seen.
So through like a quarter, there's people on Twitter like ripping into us, being like, oh, what do you think now, idiot? And I'm literally telling Ben in our chat, like, you might want to ready the clip of when we, so we could eat some crow the next morning. Then that stopped happening. Like, Herbert just went off the boil. Burrow took over, and Burrow starts making incredible plays and executing this comeback and hitting deep passes on 4th and short, like they missed before. And suddenly Burrow's playing amazingly. And then down the stretch, they both went off the boil. And honestly, I just was curious, check the PFF grades. They're both going to end up basically in the same spot, with neither one of them really claiming it right at the end when they had the opportunity to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I thought they both had stretches where they were awesome, and then both had time, and they both had chances to win it, and it was bad.
There was a point in the game where they threw up a graphic that Justin Herbert started 9 for 10 for 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. And since that point, whatever the point in the game where this graphic went up,
6 for 23.
He was 4 of 13 for 53 yards and no touchdowns.
He started 9 for 10, then went 6 for his next 23.
Yeah.
Now, it's a fascinating stat. It wasn't all him. There were drops, whatever. But he went 6 for 23. And there was a point.
And also attempted to throw the game away with a pick 6 that was dropped.
Yeah. I mean, he threw what Mike Hilton had back-to-back incredible reps against Ladd McConkey, broke up a pass, and then broke on one that easily could have been a pick 6.
Should have been. I mean, that was one where when you see the replay, it's actually more like it's a worse drop than it looked live.
So those are you're talking about a Bengals team that's 4-7, and you pick 4 plays that you want to reverse this year. The Mike Hilton drop pick 6 is one. Joe Burrow had his own. They were going for the whole thing. The deep ball to Jamar Chase in a tie game, and he missed him by a step or two. So there was missed opportunities on both sides. But I also thought, there's high-end quarterback play at various points from Herbert and from Burrow. It was a really good back-and-forth game. So Herbert could have thrown the bad pick 6. He ends up making 2 big throws to Ladd McConkey, including an incredible corner route right on his hands while getting hit. Also in the middle of this is Evan McPherson for the Bengals missing 2 field goals. You get the kicker thing again. McPherson.
Brutal.
This is what I'm saying about figuring out kickers. There was a point where he looked like he was challenging Justin Tucker
last year
and Harrison Butker as the best kickers in the league.
Right. Like last year, the debate was,
and he's missing wide left like crazy too.
Greatest of all time, Justin Tucker. Is Evan McPherson better than him now? And now neither one of them can make a reliable kick. It's insane.
So yeah, this game was wild. I was starting to get vibes from that the 2021 Week 18 game where the Raiders and Chargers had the play-in game, and it was like, are they just gonna take a knee and tie and both get like? But nobody wanted to win, and it went on forever. I started to feel that in the last couple minutes of the game.
It was crazy. I mean, this is like a microcosm of Cincinnati's season. On the one hand, you have to give them like incredible credit. They looked buried in this game early, like they were getting stomped. The Chargers defense was cooking, the Chargers offense was cooking. Like they're done. And at they come out of halftime, and whatever was said, I mean, they were different. And then they had that really good kind of couple of sequences where they got their touchdown, they get a stop, they get another score, and now we're right back in this thing. And they really put themselves in position to win it. And then McPherson, kicker, like 2 drives, they put themselves in the position. I mean, neither one of them are chip shots, but for a guy that's supposed to be one of the best kickers in the NFL, one of those has got to go over. If either one of them goes over, they've got a shot, or at least take the position to win this game. Neither one does, so the Chargers end up being the team. And Cincinnati are done now, whether they were done or not at that point. 2 missed kicks, that's all she wrote.
They really have to win out now and go 10-7. So the margin for error, even tighter for Cincinnati. DJ Turner had a big game for them, 3 pass breakups, and then leaves with a collarbone injury. It's usually a break.
Right.
So that was bad for them. It also was kind of like an old school Cincinnati game where they would give it up early and then make a second half adjustment under Lou Anarumo. They did that for a while to keep them in it. And then the Chargers, they stayed resilient, man. That Dobbins run was outstanding to the point where it almost looked like the Bengals were letting them score.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been. I don't think they were. But Dobbins,
they just perfectly blocked it up, and it was wide open lane. What did you make of that? We talked, was it the Ravens games? Literally the week before, where they had a sequence of 4th and short plays that they kept taking shots over the top at, and we're like, I don't love taking a deep, low percentage shot on 4th and short. It's
this was fine because, my point on the Ravens thing is you read it out, right? And if the read has to take you there, that's fine, but hopefully the first 3 are not there.
Where you should be looking.
Higgins was open, right? So there was it was basically a busted coverage.
Well, not just that. So here's what I think is interesting. I assume there's always a chess game, right? So I assume if you're Cincinnati, you're well aware that you just put a tendency on tape that on 4th and short, we're going deep and taking a shot. So 4th and 2, instead, what differentiated this one is it wasn't just a one-on-one on the outside. We're going to take a shot down the sideline on what is a low percentage play anyway. They ran a sluggo. So they faked something short and then ran deep anyway. And we're like, you think we're going to do the opposite of our tendency, right? We took a bunch of shots last time. So obviously this time we're not going to be that dumb. We're going to run a slant on 4th and short and pick it up that way. Oh, you think so, do you? Well, watch, boom, sluggo. And now he's wide open on a double move. I kind of think that's really clever. I hate it as a concept to take a shot on 4th and short. I do, however, think if that's what happened, that they effectively double bluffed and tried to, you think we're going to go against our tendencies? Actually, we're going to hit it again.
Well,
that was smart. Now, the other thing is, season's on the line. Like, what the hell? We might as well take a shot.
They're playing aggressive.
Yeah.
They're playing aggressive.
But if that was the thought process, that they're going to be all over short stuff because we just put a bunch of plays on tape where we didn't do that and we got burned, let's go back to it. I like that.
So 4-7 Bengals. I'm not going to read all the stats, but all the stats of like Joe Burrow, most passing yards and the touchdowns and all the good stuff that he has for coinciding with losses. He's got all those stats. 3 games this year with 3 touchdowns and losing and 3 whatever, the whole thing. And the Chargers moved to 7-3. Overall, Herbert still playing really well, even though that tapered off a little bit in the second half. Still made a couple huge throws to get them, because they were in field goal range before the Dobbins run. Were set up to win this game even before they scored a touchdown.
Both QBs overall played pretty well. One big difference between the two, I think, is that Herbert's offensive line was really, really good. Trey Hendrickson did his best and definitely made an impact on some plays, but he was like the one guy there that was making an impact. Meanwhile, the Bengals offensive line was really struggling to contain the Chargers pass rush, who had multiple guys making plays. Tui Pelotu was a beast in this game. Joey Bosa was making some plays, even if he failed to grab hold of him a couple of times. But they had a bunch of guys. Puna Ford made some plays. That was a big difference between the two.
All right, man. Anything else on Sunday Night Football?
No, other than yet more evidence for my quest to now ban kicking. Ban it.
Just ban kicking.
Get rid of them.
Don't rely on kickers ever.
No. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.